Thank you, Diane, for being here. I'm so happy to interview you about your experience. Who doesn't know Diane? She's an expert lucid dreamer, and she also learned how to teach lucid dream. And she is here today to share her experience, her personal experience with lucid dreaming. Thank you again.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Great. The first two are where are you from and what's your professional background?
I'm from New York. I was born and raised in New York City, in a part called Queens. And yes, I still live here in Forest Hills, Queens, and I'm a social worker.
Mhm.
I got my I got my master's in social work, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker. Right now, I have a private practice where I see individuals for one-on-one therapy, mostly for trauma and anxiety. And most of my patients are, 20s to 50s, dealing with mostly, anxiety,
Mhm.
PTSD, some complex trauma, depression. Yeah, I see them, most of them for weekly therapy. And I really love what I do. I really enjoy my profession. I've worked in like community type settings. I was at a residential treatment facility. I was in outpatient clinics, in a group practice for a little while. So yeah, now I'm on my own, just seeing clients one-on-one.
Oh, wow. I like it. It's, I think, really near to what lucid dreaming does. So I'm really curious about your experience.
Definitely.
So the first question, oh, sorry, I guess,
Yeah.
about lucid dream is how did you discover the topic, the
Yeah,
practice?
yeah, that's a great question. I discovered lucid dreaming when I did a yoga teacher training. I did a 300-hour yoga teacher training in Bali in 2018.
Wow.
And yeah, and lucid dreaming was one of the topics that we covered. So we were assigned Charlie's book to read, the introductory book on lucid dreaming. And then we had one of our yoga teachers taught a few lessons, and we did a few practices while we were at the yoga teacher training. It was 5 weeks, and we were all living on the premises where we were learning. So we were able to do nighttime practices. We didn't do them together, but they taught us how to do them, and we got to do them. So yeah, that's really where I first learned about it and just found it fascinating. And like you said, found it very applicable to my fields of work. So yeah, I've been practicing lucid dreaming since 2018.
Wow, it's a cool experience because from my perspective, I think it would be, I think, cool to be near other people that are learning to lucid dream in the same time as me. So beautiful experience, I think.
Yes, it was. It was really cool, especially because a lot of us were, I was sharing a room with one person, and then all of the other students were living nearby too. So yeah, it was cool. Not, I think a few people had some moments of lucidity, but I was
Really?
definitely one of the ones that was most interested in it. Yeah.
Wow, great. What was the thing you liked the most about and that made you want to delve deeper in the topic?
Yeah, I think it's really I mean, for me, my personal experience, like whenever I got lucid, as you know, Aurora, it's so exciting, and so fascinating. So really my own experience of, those early on moments of lucidity, even if it was just a second and then you wake up or then you lose the lucidity, really captivated me and kind of blew my mind. And that definitely drew me in. Like I said, also my profession, I was very interested, but also for my own healing. I thought this was an amazing way to just get, right into the subconscious mind and create change, so that I could have the life that I want, so that I could heal, any wounds or traumas that I was still carrying. And that was really kind of hooked me in. And actually, it was during the pandemic, specifically, like, yeah, I think it was 2020 and 2021. Charlie was our teacher, was offering a lot of courses online. And so that's when I really began, yeah, taking some of his shadow work courses. And, you know, the more you get into it, the more fascinating it becomes. So I got hooked. Yeah.
Wow, you did a lot, and also from 2018 to 2020, it took you some time to go deeper, right?
Yes. Because those first few years, I think I was really just using it to ask some questions. I was traveling throughout 2018 and 2019. I had taken time off from work, and so I was traveling through Southeast Asia and Latin America. So yeah, it wasn't until really, I guess, like the middle of 2019 that I came back to New York and kind of refocused on my career and getting settled here. And then, of course, when the pandemic hit, it was really kind of frenzied at first and intense, but then I found, oh, I had all this extra time to really explore the things that I was interested in. And so, yeah, I was grateful for that, you know, extra time that I had to then dive into lucid dreaming again.
Yes, I can see.
Mhm.
And one other question pop up, and it is, do you think it's more something you like personally, mm, uh, on a mm, on a personal level or professional level?
I probably like it more personally because, you
Okay.
know, that's I get to reap the benefits and really experience it. But I recently led a group for some of my clients, a 6-week group on
Oh,
teaching them lucid dreaming. And I really loved that too, way more than I thought that I would. And so professionally, it is starting to grow in my career and in my work with my clients. I'm beginning to bring it in, and I'm finding I'm really enjoying that part too.
wow. I like your answer that personal it's more and it's growing on the professional level. I think it starts there because it's personal experience and then it's something that we share with the others.
Definitely, 100%. And when it's so personal, you know, and you have the direct experience, it's so much more powerful when you can share from your experience with other people.
Yes,
Um,
that's true. There is a benefit that for you was like the greatest benefit you had with lucid dream.
Yeah, I think every time I have a lucid dream, I get this benefit of the next day. It almost feels like being on a different level of consciousness or different level of awareness. But I always find like going through the world the next day is really powerful in terms of just just like being like, this all seems so real, and yet
Mhm.
is it? Because when you recognize the dream in a lucid dream, it really kind of topples that sense of confidence that you know what reality is. And I always kind of enjoy that afterglow of a lucid dream and walking through the world and being like, this seems all so real to me. And yet, is it? You know, kind of that questioning gets me into a different mind frame that I really enjoy being in. And it's not in a scary way. It's in a really like open, expansive, that my sense of possibility really, really grows, which I think is just so cool versus often just being in my regular brain that's just focused on the tasks and having to do the next thing. Yeah, it really helps me zoom out from my small world and look at the world in a different way.
Wow, I love how you described it as an experience of yes openness and growing, feeling that you are not just you as your job or your personality, your friends, but something with more possibilities that you
Definitely.
can create so many things and yes, the afterglow is a great word to describe it.
Yes, yeah, and I feel like I get it every time, even if it's just a moment of lucidity. I still feel that, oh wow, expanded state the next day.
Yes. And is there a lucid dream that you want to share that had a great impact in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I have several of them. One of the ones I really, I tell people and that I really so appreciate was actually when I was doing that traveling in 2019, 2018, 2019. I remember I was in Costa Rica at the time, and I was working a little bit remotely from there, but really just unsure of what my next step was going to be in terms of where I would live and what I was going to do. And so I decided that I would ask what my purpose is in my next lucid dream.
Wow.
So fortunately, one night I got lucid and I was in my parents' living room. And I can't remember what the lucidity trigger was, but I realized I was dreaming. And my mom was there, and I went over to the window and I kind of looked out the front window of their house, and it just shouted out, "What is my purpose?" I remember nothing happened. Like everything was quiet and still. I was like, okay. I asked again, "What is my purpose?" Nothing happened. And my logical brain thought, oh, I guess this dream is broken, like I guess it doesn't work. And so I turned around, and in the living room were my mom and my sisters and my niece. And I was really happy to see them. I hadn't seen them in a long time because I was traveling. And so I just went over to them, still aware I was in a dream. We kind of made a circle and we hugged and we were laughing and playing with my niece. And then I woke up and I was like, oh, that was so nice. And didn't really put it together with my purpose until a few hours later. And I was reflecting on it. And then I realized that, I had gotten my answer, and the answer was love. The answer was my purpose is to love and to be loved. And it struck me as so simple.
Mhm.
I was like, that's almost ridiculous how simple it is, and yet so profound. And that shifted a lot for me because
Mm.
I often thought, oh, my purpose has to be tied to my career, or it has to be really spiritual, or I have to go, live in the mountains and meditate 24/7, and to have an answer that was like, no, you just need to love people and be loved in return. Yeah, it was incredibly, incredibly deep and has stayed with me even to
Mm.
today. Yeah.
Ah, great dream.
Oh, thank you.
Congratulations. Every time I hear a lucid dream that is so impactful, I cannot cannot
Me
not
too.
cry. I don't know.
It's so emotional, right? It just like resonates.
Yes.
You're like, whoa.
And
Because
sorry.
no, I was just I was thinking like you can never predict it. That's the one of the coolest things too, of like
Yes.
you never know what the dream will give you, and it often gives you just what you need, even if you don't understand it, even if it doesn't make sense. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it's so powerful in that way.
And that's the thing that it's interesting that at first you didn't realize what was the message. It took you some times, and I think it's important this part that it's not in the not always. Sometimes it's in right now, and other times you have to wait or just live the day, the week, and then the idea or the meaning comes up. And I think it's important because maybe as you in the dream thought that maybe the dream was broke.
Yeah, I
It
did.
wasn't.
And I've had that experience a few times where even months later, I
Wow.
realize some message or some importance that I hadn't at first, which I think is a good reminder to lucid dreamers, especially in the beginning. I definitely have that impatience of I want the answer to appear and appear immediately and be really clear. And oftentimes it doesn't come in that form. But that's okay. Because sometimes, yeah, the answer comes eventually, and maybe when you need it most, or like you said, when you're able to fully understand it.
And also, I think it's interesting that after you didn't see anything come, you lived your dream and
Yeah.
hugged and take your time to be with your family.
Yeah, it's cool, right? I was like being my purpose in the dream. It's so
Mhm.
weird. Yeah.
Amazing, because it's like I'm imagining how it could be and how it could feel. It's like experiencing it. So
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Aurora. Yeah. I love that about you, that you have that deep empathy and understanding for someone
thank you.
else's experience. Yeah, it's really cool.
Ooh, great. Next question is, do you think that more people should know lucid dreaming, and why?
Definitely. I'm always amazed when I tell someone about it for the
Mhm.
first time and their response is like incredulous. They're like, no way, that can't be, you can't be able to do that, you know? So yeah, I would so love if more people knew about it, even if they never practiced it. Just to know that this is a ability that all of us have. It does take some work, obviously, and some practice, but yeah, I think it would be really cool for people to have the option to
Mm,
use this, especially in terms of healing. You know, it's a really, I think, unique way to heal. Like a lot of our healing is often in the West anyway, right? In like therapy or groups, or I think it's cool for people who maybe are wary of that or are just more internally focused. Like, yeah, you have this healing mechanism that you can do all on your own. If you wish, nobody ever even has to know, you know, that you're
mhm.
going to seek help in your own psyche. But yeah, I wish more people knew about it. And I think it would be really nice to have a lot more lucid dreamers around.
I think so too. The healing part, well, yes, it could be more people that feel better. So
Definitely.
definitely.
It's interesting too, I feel like in talking about it, just sometimes there are people I wouldn't expect who would be really interested in it. Like my grandmother started when I told her about it, she remembers a lot of her dreams. And so she would tell me, and I said, wow, that's it kind of opened this conversation that I never thought to ask her about her dreams or if she remembers them. Yeah, and it's always cool. I'm always surprised when she wants to talk about them and, you know, wants to understand them. So, yeah, even across generations, it's really interesting to see like it's this commonality we all have. Everybody dreams. And, you know, it can be so connective in that way that
Yes,
it allows us to connect to each other. Yeah.
this part, I think it's like incredible, because when you experience the lucid dream, you feel like yes, connected with other people that had the same experience. It's like
Yeah.
something really deep that you share, and you feel like they are friends also if you don't know them. So
Yeah, that definitely happened with our group, I think. We all got
yes.
so close, even just spending a few days in real life together. But yeah, you feel this deep connection.
Well, great. Thank you for sharing your experience. I think it will be really inspirational, and hope that many people that yes, that this interview will reach many people. And so
Oh,
see you next time.
thank you, Aurora. Thank you for hosting me and for inviting me here. I really appreciate you and appreciate your interest and all your hard work in lucid dreaming and getting it out there for other people to learn about too. So
Thank you.
thank you.